Find out what's really hot on Fly FM's What's Hot Weekend Show.
Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. You got me, Gibo, hanging out with you all the way until 12 p.m. today. And you know what? I got a very special guest in the house right now, Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education. I'll be talking about with her in just a little bit, so hang tight. But in the meantime, here is Macklemore and Ryan Lewis with Thrift Shop right here, right now on Fly FM. Good morning.
What?
It's Fossil People, Pumped Up Kicks on Fly FM, playing you Malaysia's hottest music. Of course, you're hanging out with me, Gibo, all the way until 12 p.m. today. And in the house right now, we have Dr. Habibah. Is that correct?
Correct.
Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education. Now, I feel very shy. Dr. Habibah. Now, let's talk education. Let's talk your field right now. And now, after the launch of, if I'm saying this correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Because my BM is so bad. After the launch of Laporan Awal Pelan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia, that's PPPM, that's 2013-2025. What are the initiatives by the Ministry of Education to implement or execute the policies that are stated in this report?
Okay. Actually, after the launch, we had three main work streams.
Mm-hmm.
One is to get further feedback from the rakyat on the preliminary report. Because when we came out with that early report, we took in inputs from the rakyat.
Right.
What kind of aspiration, what kind of issues they want to be addressed in the blueprint.
Yep.
So after it is launched, people still had the opportunity to look at it and give further feedback to it.
I see.
So we did open days following the launch to take in. So that's one work stream. The second work stream is to review all those feedback and what could be included, strengthened, elaborated further within the final document.
Right.
Okay. Then the third work stream is, by the end we finalize the blueprint. It's already time to implement it in 2013. So we need to translate all those policy statements, the programs, into actual initiatives on how we are going to implement it in 2013.
Right.
So three main work streams.
And this is all from the people, the rakyat.
The rakyat gave in the inputs.
Right.
So finally, it depends on, we brought it to our decision makers. What were the main inputs, our analysis, what were highlighted, and we debated on things, what should be included further within the blueprint.
Well done. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, well, we'll be talking more with Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education. But in the meantime, here's Kesha with Die Young right here on Fly FM. Good morning.
I hear your heartbeat.
Good morning. It is a hot new one from MKTO. It's Thank You on Fly FM, playing you Malaysia's hottest music. Of course, you're hanging on me, Gibo, all the way until 12 p.m. today. Good Sunday morning. And you know what? We've got Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education right here with me right now. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we are talking about, we're basically talking right now. And I've got a couple questions to ask you this morning, if you permit, if you let me. Dr. Habibah, what is it to be achieved by MOE? This is Mo with this report.
Okay. Understanding where we are currently in terms of the performance of our education system, we have set where we want to go within the next 13 years, long-term period.
Okay, so, all right.
So in that sense, we looked at two aspirations. One is system aspirations, where the system as a whole would like to move from where it is at the moment to the next 13 years,
Right.
up to 2025.
Right.
And in addition to the system aspiration, the children, the students within the system, when they come out of schools, what do you want them to have. Right, so we also put in student aspirations.
Right.
So there are two kinds of aspirations.
Right.
So for system aspirations, we've got 5. One is in terms of access, quality, equity, unity, as well as efficiency.
Sure.
Yeah. And for student aspirations, we have got 6. And these are the kind of things that we want when the children leave the school. The knowledge,
Right.
the thinking skills,
Right.
leadership qualities,
Right.
language, ethics,
Right.
national identity. 6.
Now, this is for when you're talking about schools, you're talking about all the way from what, primary school?
We've got preschool, primary, secondary, post-secondary. Teacher training and matriculation is also under the Ministry of Education.
So this is all the way from toddler to teens,
Correct.
right? Oh, all right, right. Okay, okay. More with Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education. But in the meantime, here is Fun and Janelle Monáe. We Are Young right now on Fly FM. Good morning.
Give me a second, I need to get my.
It's a new one from Rihanna, Mickey Echo. It is Stay on Fly FM this morning. Good morning. You got me, Gibo, hanging out with you all the way until 12 p.m. And I've got a special guest in the house right now. It is Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education. How are you doing this morning?
Fine, thank you.
You're fine, thank you. That's a very stern thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Dr. Habibah, we are talking about education right now. And right now, I've got still a couple more questions to ask you. Is that okay?
Sure, no problem.
Sure. All right. What are the significant differences between the preliminary report with the final version?
Okay. As I mentioned before, we took in more inputs from the rakyat. So there are certain things that they would want highlighted more within the blueprint, or which we have not put in as clear within the early report.
Sure.
So there were things, for instance, like special education. They wanted to see more of it emphasized within the document.
What is special education?
Special education for us is within those children with disabilities, for instance.
Right.
So how do you handle those children so that when they come out of the schooling system, they would also achieve the end of an outcome, just like the other children.
Right.
So how we have handled it is it's very important for special kids to be identified very early on, so that proper interventions could be given even before they go into formal schooling. So the whole section of what we could provide under special education was looked into after the launch of the blueprint.
Okay, when you say formal schooling, what do you mean by formal schooling? As in, like when they actually start school?
Yes, currently it's from preschool.
Oh, okay.
5 plus.
Sure.
5 plus, and then primary education onwards.
Right. So this special education can be determined way before preschool, is it?
Way before, because we are also working with the Ministry of Health.
Oh, okay. Which will actually acknowledge that they actually have a disability and need to be have special circumstances in the classroom.
Correct.
I see. All right. Okay, we've got more with Dr. Habibah in just a little bit, but coming your way, we've got Imagine Dragons' hot new one. It's Radioactive right now on Fly FM. Good morning.
She's just a girl, but she's on fire.
It's Alicia Keys. Hot new one. She is not on fire. This is Fly FM. You're hanging out with Givo all the way until 12 p.m. And I've got a special guest in the house right now. It's Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
All right, so we are talking about education right now, and I'm asking her a couple questions. I'm kind of grilling her on air right now. Okay, Dr. Habib, what are the significant differences between the preliminary report with the final version?
Okay. as I've mentioned to you before, we've taken in more inputs from the Rakyat since the launch of the preliminary document. So based on those inputs, further inputs on the early report, we have incorporated certain things which the Rakyat has have raised. And as I've mentioned to you before, one is on special ed, but there are also other areas, for instance, on languages, on religious education, on vocational education, different pathways that children can take. So those are the things that were highlighted by the Rakyat that they wanted to see more within the document.
I see. Okay, so this is all. I mean, when you say the Rakyat, meaning the people, they how do you gather all this information from the Rakyat?
Okay, before we came out with the early report, we had what we call a national dialogue on education. So it cut across the different states. After the launch of that report, we had open days, similar to the national dialogue.
Sure.
But this time round, it's on the blueprint itself that was released.
Right.
So people gave feedback through the open days. And we also had roundtable sessions where we call stakeholders into those roundtables, and they gave inputs on certain topics.
Wow. Like when you say roundtable, I think you're gathering at a round table. Literally, you're gathering at a round table. Is that right?
It can be round.
It can be round. It can be square.
Yes.
Well, that's amazing. At least the Rakyat. At least you listen to the Rakyat. You listen to the people.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think this is the first time that the ministry has approached it in this way. There are several components that were added to this blueprint that that is different from other reports from the ministry. So one is having a huge dialogue with Rakyat stakeholders. Right. And then we also did a comprehensive review, which is also something new. And we took in inputs also from experts, both locally as well as internationally.
Right.
We had an independent review panel, 12 from Malaysia and 4 from international scene, mostly global leaders or specialists in certain areas. And we also contacted experts and research, for instance, on public expenditure review, on trends in math and sciences, on how students perform as compared to other countries.
Right.
So there were multiple inputs that went into this current blueprint.
And I'm assuming the feedback was great.
Huge.
Great. Awesome. Okay, we've got more with Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education, as well as the Lumineers Ho Hey headed up next on Fly FM.
BFR with ROB and stand a chance to win an iPad mini plus ROB hamper with 100 ringgit. Join the
It's new music here first from the Lumineers. It's Ho Hey on Fly FM this morning. What's up? What's happening? You're hanging out with me, Gibo. And I've got a special guest in the house. We've got Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
And we are talking about education because, you know, we all want to get edumacated. And I'm just asking Dr. Habibah a couple questions. And one of my questions right now is, what is the 100-day achievement through implementation of the PPPM as announced on April 10th by the DPM? What's the next step?
Okay. When we came out with the blueprint, it's not a matter of just launching a book that says these are the policies, these are the future directions.
Right.
It's very important that even during the first method, to do the things that we have laid out within the document.
Right.
So 10th of April marks the 100 days from 1st February, right? In the 100 days of its implementation stage in 2013.
Right.
So for that 100 days, we've got 6 main milestones that we identified that's important, that we need to highlight within that period.
Within the 100 days.
Correct.
Okay.
So there are more towards the end of the year because we have also promised within the document that we will produce a yearly report on the progress of the initiatives we have outlined within the document.
And when did the 100 days start? You said January?
1st of January.
1st of January.
Right to 10th of April is exactly 100 days.
Right. And so far?
So far, we launched 6 initiatives.
Right.
So one of it is on the new One Agenda approach to drive the change
Right.
in the education system. These consist of 100 initiatives that the ministry has prioritized to be implemented from the blueprint. Then it includes the establishment of the Performance and Delivery Unit. This is a new unit to oversee the transformation process.
Right.
So the initiatives would be the responsibilities of the different divisions within the ministry. So this Performance and Delivery Unit is not the one implementing it,
Right.
but to oversee, facilitate, problem solve, to make sure that initiatives are on track and we meet our KPIs.
Right.
Then because English is so important, and of course to drive this, the teachers teaching us the proficiency to do so. So we are also upskilling our English teachers.
Right.
So we have tested all 61,000 English teachers,
Wow.
primary as well as secondary level. So currently in our first phase, 5,000 teachers are
Right.
undergoing training.
Right.
The next phase would be another 9,000 teachers.
Wow. So you guys are really on your way, huh?
Correct.
All right. We've got more with Dr. Habibah from the Ministry of Education coming your way, as well as hot new one from Owl City and your local girl, Yuna. It's Shine Your Way right now on Fly FM. Good morning.
Just before the dawn.